All right, we'll start by saying, call Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kodash, double honors, pastor, elders, great millstone, room, teach well, peace, citation, all you occupant four corners of the earth, preach, teach Yahushua in the gospel. Hey, I'm Yeh Kwah from Wire Soul, Yahushua certified ones. I want to say shalom to all you Aqua. I want to come to you right quick. I'm gonna read the scripture and I'm gonna play this video and I'm gonna close out. I'm not gonna be here very long because I gotta get some sleep. But I just wanted to bring it up. Things is happening. And this is all set to be prophecy. It's all prophesied in the Bible. The Lord already put this forth for the prophets to bring out. And this is a beautiful time. This is where we're getting ready to go home. You know what I'm saying? In this distant near future, we'll be out of here. We'll be up on that fathership. We'll be up on the chariot with the Lord, getting our crowns. Babylon is falling. The Lord got Babylon dropping itself to his knees. It's killing off their currency. Their stock market keep falling, keep dropping. It's unstable. There's no stability to the stock market. God, shalom to the comment board. But hey, this is a beautiful time for us. You know, everywhere you look, I think it was like what was it that burned up? Is a gas station or damn, it was like an oil take or damn, a fueling station, not a fueling station, but a refinery station, burned up and shit. I think another food center burned up. So it's a lot of shit going on, man. It's just everywhere you look, everywhere you go, it's constantly turmoil after turmoil, right? So I just want to read the scripture, and I'm gonna just pull this video out. All right, this is Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God and land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord power Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth. And when you go to Joel, the 3rd chapter, the Lord going to bring him up to the valley of the host, Jehoshaphat, okay, the valley of decisions, okay. That's where the Lord is going to destroy all the nations, okay. I will, verse 38, Ezekiel 38:4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, in all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armory, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And today we always say, what's your sword today? It's your jets, your jet fighters, your airplanes, your missiles, it's your tanks, right? It's your guns, it's your weapons, it's your AR-15s, it's your M16s, AK-47s, okay? All those things is your swords today, the modern day sword. Verse 35, Persia, right? Who is Iran? Okay, Iran is the Persians. Okay, so when you say the Persian, you go back, you can look up who is the modern day Persians, and it'll tell you it's the Iranians. Okay, Slocky. All right, itchy. Allergies. All right, Slocky. So the Persians and the Medes went back to Jaffa, and the Iranians at a time was together, and the Persians ended up being greater and took over the whole kingdom, which became the Persian Empire. Okay, Persian Medial Empire. Okay, but Persian, Ethiopia, which is like Kush, or is it? I think it's Kush, and Libya. Okay, those are Hamites. Okay, Kush and Canaan, I believe. With and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmets. Gomer and all his band, the house of Togomar of the north quarters. Okay, now I'm not really sure about. I think Gomer is Turkey. I'm not really Togomar. I guess could go back to China. Don't take me wrong. And the north quarters is North. I would really. Well, I'm gonna say because North Korea is gonna be in the midst of this too with them, right? North Korea is gonna be is a part of the America's enemies. Okay, these are all enemies of America. You know, and right now, today, modern day today, your it's your Russia, it's your Turkey's kind of in and out, but at this moment, but you got your China, your big three now is Iran, Russia, and China, and North Korea make your fourth, your big four, right? And everybody else is kind of come along with them, right? So you got you got to go because they call it the BRICS nation. Now the BRICS nation is, I think they're about like 15, 20 deep now. So different nations is becoming a part of the BRICS nations. Like the Venezuelans, I think, are becoming part of the BRICS nations. You know, a lot of these Latin American countries are starting to turn against the horde, right? A lot of them they're turning against Babylon because look, shit, they just try to overthrow a Venezuelan president. They literally try to sink Venezuela down the shithole. You know, they literally just fuck their whole economy. But they still stood strong. They for the most part they still there. They still kicking. But I think his name was Maduro. They tried to take that man out of power. They wanted to put that puppet in. You know, they wanted to overthrow Venezuela like they overthrew Ukraine back in 2014. Okay, they tried to overthrow Venezuela so they could have that oil reserves because they knew what they needed. They needed to rob them. Okay, but so the North Quarters and all his bands. So it's gonna be many nations that's gonna come against America and Israel. Okay, Israel really is America because they're one in the same, and many people with them, right? And many people with thee, Salaki. Okay, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee. So all these different nations right now that are assembled unto Russia, they're assembled unto China. Okay, China is assembling itself unto Russia. Iran. I think it was it Argentina? It's there's a lot of different places in Slovakia. Give me 1 second. Hey, Tazaba, why you ain't close the door, man? Yours. Let her walk around in your room. I'm doing this video. Come here. Hold on. Hey, Salakia, hold tight. Come here. Get her. Oh, shit. Close the door, bro. You ain't watching. He's not gonna watch it. I'm doing my video. All right, slack you for that. All right, but anyway, damn, what was I at? What was I at? Yeah, so anyway, so all these nations is gonna gather with Russia. They're gonna join unto Russia, and everybody that is the enemy of America, all these enemies of America are gonna join unto Russia, and they're gonna fight. They're gonna fight America. They're gonna fight Babylon, the whore. Okay, the whore that sitteth upon many waters. All right. So this verse 7, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Yeah, why? Because Russia got that big ass nuke. China got that big ass nuke. North Korea got that big ass nuke. So they're gonna be a guard unto these other countries while they're fighting, because America's not gonna be able to do but so much, because it's gonna lead to nuclear war. But all their enemies got nukes now, so it's an even playing field now. It's no more just America being a big ass bully on the block. It ain't like back in the 60s and 40s and 20s, right, where America was just the only superpower and nobody could really fuck with them. Nobody had the strength as far as the technology, the weaponry to fuck with America in that time. But now, things has changed. Okay. Now things has changed. Let me get this. This is Joel third. Hold on. You know what? I gotta go to Joel anyway, because that's probably. Let me go to Joel. This is Joel. But yeah, shit has changed. You know, shit has changed. Let me get here. This is Joel. Salak. Yeah, I just, right here. Let me go to Joel chapter 3. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days, right, and these are those days, and in that time, this is that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Right. So that we coming out of this captivity. The Lord is bringing that shit back. He's taking it back. He's going to let us out of this hell that he's put us in because of our iniquities. But why are we getting out? Because of the elect, the hopeful elect, because there's men sighing and crying to Yahweh Shem Shai to let us out, to forgive us for our iniquities and sins. Right. Because you're ultimately Yahweh Shai. Ultimately, it's Yahweh Shai. But his men are out here continuing his work. We're continuing. Hopefully we're those men, and we're continuing the work of Yahweh Shai, and we're praying and begging and pleading for the Lord to let us out of this misery that we're in. Right? We're begging and pleading for the Lord to do all that he said he was going to do in his Bible, in the scriptures. We're begging and pleading for the Lord's word to come true, for all the prophecies to come to pass. Okay? So, but chiefly because of Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai has passed that torch down to his men. And they're out sighing and crying. Verse 2, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel. And how's the Lord going to plead with them? By fire, whom they have scattered among the nations. Who's been scattered? We have the Israelites, all of us, from the southern kingdom to the northern kingdom. And parted my land. And whose his land is Israel. How's that land parted? The heathen is in his land. The Khazarians, the Esau Edom is in his land. Okay, and also the Palestinians, right? The Arabs, the Ishmael, right? Ishmael is in his land. It's been parted. Part of that land, Palestine is the Ishmael, and then over in Jerusalem and the Tel Aviv and all those polluted areas is the fake Jews, right? It's Esau, Edom, Amalek, okay, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, and that's happened here in America, that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? Okay, that's all Esau, and all the coasts of Palestine. Right now, that's them Ishmaelites. Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. Okay, so you can't pay the Lord back. Ain't no getting your how about Shemal Shai back. Because anything you think you can do, he gonna slap it on you 1,000,000 times over. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah, you Negroes, and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, you northern kingdoms, that ye might remove them. Well, not only just you Negroes. Why I say Negroes is because when you say Negroes, they go back to Benjamin and Levi as well. Okay, Benjamin and Levi really is under Judah. Okay, but they're their own tribe, but they come under the southern kingdom. Okay, that ye may remove from them far from their borders. Behold, I will rise them out of the place where ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. So that same soul that they have done to the people, Esau, Edom has done to Israel, is going to go right back onto them. We're going to sell them and their children. Okay. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah. They go into captivity. So-called white man and the heathen nations. They're all going to captivity. Okay. And they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord hath spoken it. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. What do you see now? War. They're preparing war. The Lord got God preparing to go to war with Babylon. Okay, with the fake car, with Amalek. Okay, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Okay, wait. How was they preparing war with North Korea? North Korea got that fat boy. He got that big boy. You know, he kept working and working until he got the nuke. Okay, Iran working on a nuke. You know, everybody's getting ready for the big ass war, man. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And this is the weak saying that they're strong. All these nations coming up against America now. Now, these nations were back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, the early 1900s. They were weak. America had a stronghold over them. You know, America whooped Russia's ass in a Cold War. They couldn't do nothing with America. You know, everybody that Babylon went up against, Babylon basically was just destroying, and still to this day been pretty much still going to robbing and stealing out of people's land. Still to this day. But now you got these nations that America can't fuck with, that America wouldn't dare just to walk into and go to war with, like they tried with Venezuela. Why did they overthrow Venezuela or try to overthrow Venezuela? Venezuela didn't have that nuke. They couldn't protect themselves from America. They're weak. Why won't America go into North Korea? Because North Korea got that thing. You know, he got that chopper. He got that blazer. They don't want that. They don't want that issue now. So they try not to say much about them. Why they won't not just run up in Russia? Because they know Russia got them nukes, right? They got Satan with them. Same thing with China. Okay. The Israelis fucking with Iran because they're trying to stop Iran from getting it. So that way that they don't have to worry about Iran having, because they can stop Iran, they'll feel more comfortable in their land. But it's not going to happen because it's already prophesied for Iran to have it. They're going to have it too. And there's nothing they can do. Right? So they're all at a checkmate. They've been checkmated by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And he has used his own people, chiefly Russia, because they're all Esau, Edom, to checkmate the man he made his sword, the wicked. He made the wicked checkmate the wicked. You know, it's a beautiful thing, man. You know, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat, the land of decisions, the valley of decisions. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get ye down, from the press is full. The fats overflow. Oh, you just ready? For their wickedness is great. Multitude in the valley of decision. Many nations, many people. Elam, the East Indians, all them nations over there, Ishmael, they all gonna be up in this fight. Okay, all the 17 nations. Okay, they all gonna be up in there, and Judah gonna be in the middle of it. Israel gonna be up in it with Babylon, right? Because you got the 2/3 that's joined into this devil, right? That went down to Egypt for help. Okay. For the day of the Lord, and they're going to die with Egypt. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decisions. That's right. This day is here. You see it. Hey, what Putin said, he just really getting started. He said he hadn't even really got started. Because once he get done with Ukraine, it's on. He going to keep popping. He taking back everything he want. You know, and so really Babylon ain't got no choice. They ain't have no choice but to go to war, or just lay down and let Putin do what he do. You know, they don't have no choice now. You know, they overthrew Ukraine. They fighting NATO is fighting Putin through Ukraine. They said, I read like somewhere where it said, we'll fight Russia to the last man down in Ukraine. That's some sick shit. They're going to make the Ukrainians die for their war, for their proxy war against Ukraine. To the last man standing in Ukraine. Last Ukrainian standing. You know? But hey, that's the minds of these people. They're slaves. Slaves unto Satan. They are Satan's slaves. Okay? The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord will be the hope of his people. Yahweh Shai is our hope. And right now our hope is Yahweh Shai, because we hope and praying that he's mediating for us to Yahweh. And he's begging Yahweh and that Yahweh save us and bring us out. That gives him the rights and the power and gives him the okay, basically giving Yahweh Shai the okay, because he already has a right. He already got the power. He's basically giving Yahweh Shai the okay to pull us out. Okay. And the strength of the children of Israel. All right. So shall ye know that I am the Lord Yahweh, your power, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through here anymore. So there's no more captivity after this. Okay. After this big destruction, after this big battle, after this great climactic battle, after let me keep reading. And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine. Come. And who's that new wine? We are Israel, Yasha'Allah. And the hills shall flow with milk and honey, and all the rivers of Judah. And all the rivers of Judah shall flow with water, much wisdom. And a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, and shall water the valley of Shittim. Egypt shall be a desolation. That's Babylon, America, aka America. And Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, for the violence against the Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, because they have shed innocent blood. It says Judah. Okay, so for the violence against Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. And they've also done that to the northern kingdom. But Judah shall dwell forever in Jerusalem for generation to generation. Okay. Judah and Jerusalem going back to Israel. Okay. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion. Come. So when you go back to Ezekiel 38 chapter, all these different nations are going to fight with this devil. Okay, they're going to be fighting with this devil, and with America, where they are devils, you know, the wicked or the heathen nations, and the Lord going to come out the mist and burn their asses up. Okay, he's going to destroy Babylon. It's going to be destroyed. America's going to get destroyed in this nuclear fire. Okay, Israel, that land is going to be a desolation. It's going to get purified with fire. Okay, and we're going to and the heathen are going to rebuild it. Okay, the wicked and the heathen will rebuild our land. Okay, Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmets. Gomar and his band. The house of Togomar of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. So it's going to be a whole shit show. It's going to be a big ass shit hit the fan, shit splattering all over the place. All right. If we drop down here, let me drop down to Ezekiel. It's Ezekiel 38 and 10. Thus saith the Lord, power Yahweh Shemel Shai. It shall also come to pass that at that same time shall shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. It's America. I will go to them that are at rest. Esau, Edom is at rest here. That dwell safely, and all of them dwelling without walls, having neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are greater, that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle goods, that dwell in the midst of the land. Okay, Sheba and the Dan and the merchants of Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle goods, to take a great spoil? Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto God, thus saith the Lord power Yahweh Shem Shai, in that day when my people of Israel dwelleth safely, shall thou not know it. And thou shalt come, and thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee. That's that many people when you talk about that we just talked about in Joel the 3rd chapter. Right? It's gonna be a great army, a great number of army coming into America. Okay, coming for war, right? Damn, excuse me, I got heartburn. Okay, and thou shalt come up against and thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days. This is the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land. And who's in our land? It's the heathen. Okay, the heathen Amalek is in the land. So Gog is gonna go and fuck the Amalek up, the Israelis. They're gonna go fuck them up. That the heathen may know me when I shall be sanctified in thee, O God, before their eyes. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. Man, I got heartburn like crazy. All right. Salaki. Thus saith the Lord power Yahweh Shem Shai, art thou he of whom I have spoken in old time by my servants, the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years that I will bring thee against them? And it shall come to pass at that same time when God shall come against the land of Israel, saith the Lord power Yahweh Shem Shai, that my fury shall come up in my face. For in my jealousy and in my fire, and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel. So the Lord's gonna fuck that place up. And he's gonna start off using God to do it. So that the fish of the sea of the sea shall shake. Okay, so that the fishes of the sea and the fowls of the heavens and the beasts of the field and all the creeping things that creepeth upon the earth and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence, and the mountains shall be thrown down. That's the governments. And the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. And I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, through all my governments. Saith the Lord power Yahweh Shem Shai, every man's sword shall be against his brother. So every man, this fight is gonna be everybody. It's just gonna be fucking chaos everywhere, man. Chaos everywhere. Where's that? What's that one place, man? It collapsed. Lancashire. What is it called? Oh fuck. But it's a lot of places that's collapsing. Germany is tripped. They went back to coal. The European nations is going back to using coal again for fuel to get their energy sources, because Russia's cutting off their gas supply. Okay, so Russia was really, the Lord built Russia up to be the catalyst for the fall of Esau's kingdom, of this system, the beast system. Okay, he used the beast to tame the beast, you know. And I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, saith the Lord power Yahweh Shema Shai. Every man's sword shall be against his brother, and I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood. So when the Lord plead, when back in Joel 3rd chapter said that I will plead, bring thee up to the valley of Joseph, and I will plead with thee, that's he gonna plead with him with pestilence and blood. And I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him, an overflowing rain and great hailstone, fire and brimstone. Thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am the Lord power Yahweh Shem El Shai. So that go to all together. That's go to show you that the Lord is not playing. The Lord is here to eradicate all these fucking red devils. You see in his face, he's not white. He's not a so-called white man. He's red. You can see it all through his face. He's red. Okay. So these people who call themselves so-called white, or they call themselves Israelite or Israelis or the Lord's chosen people, you're not. They're a curse, right? And all these people are going to get put to death for their iniquity, for all their iniquity. You can read Ezekiel 35th chapter, Ezekiel 25th chapter. You know, it tells you that because they had pursued blood should pursue them. You know, the land, what's that, Numbers 30, I think it's 33 and 35. Was it 35, 33, 33, 35? That the land can't be cleansed except by the one who shed that blood. You can't cleanse the blood of the land unless you kill those who put that blood, the original blood, upon the earth. They got to be killed off. And who is that? The so-called white man. He has to be taken down. He has to be taken down for all his shit that he's done over the years and still doing now to this day. Right? So let me play this video, then I'm going to close out.
In depth, Russia, China, and Iran are among 13 nations that will send troops to Venezuela in mid-August, just a few weeks away, for the so-called Sniper Frontier competition. Now, these are war games being hosted by Venezuela and hosting in the process anti-American regimes, rogue regimes, adversaries of the United States and really the free world will be in our hemisphere. So much for the Monroe Doctrine that you learned about in school. These enemies will be at America's doorstep again. Russia, China, and Iran leading the pack. Now, a few things here to unpack. Number one, clearly, these regimes, which have adversarial relationships, to say the least, with the United States, they see
and right quick, Russia, China, Iran, they're all under the ruble. They're under the gold standard, and they're backing their ruble by the gold. And Russia's doing great, right? Their economy, their financials are doing very, very well. They haven't done better, and they've dropped the dollar. They've been dropping the dollar. China been dropping the dollar. They're using their own currency, so they all work. They're the BRICS nations. They're all working together now, and they're creating economic system to go against the system of Babylon, and it's crashing it. And Babylon fucked itself up. They thought they was being smart, but these nations are coming together now, like the Bible said, right? Gog, Magog, Tubal, Meshach, they're all coming together. They're all Libya. They're all coming as one, and even Libya's they're in the BRICS nation as well. So there's a lot of nations that has joined unto Russia, China, and Iran. All these nations is joining in with them, making the pacts with them. Okay, so they're going to fight. They're going to fight against America. Okay, the war is coming. There's no getting out of it. There's no way from it. You know, and that's the people here. They hide from it because America's never been hit, never been touched before, and it's coming. You can't get out of it. It's going to happen. There's all the signs on the wall. It's out there, you know, and it's all in the scriptures, you know. I'm going to play a little more than I'm going to just close out.
Opening right now, folks. They see weakness in Washington, D.C. and in the American leadership, and they are pushing the advantage. They're pushing their agenda, and they think they'll be unchallenged as they try to spread their tentacles here to the Western Hemisphere, again, at America's doorstep. So you're seeing a boldness on the part of America's enemies, no doubt. And when it comes to Russia, China, and Iran in particular, again, 13 countries hosted by Venezuela, but they are the most noteworthy, of course, from an American perspective. When it comes to these three nations, they have deeply entrenched and growing ties in Latin America, throughout South America and Central America. Let's start with the Iranian regime. I think of the tri-border region, the so-called tri-border region, where the borders of Brazil, Argentina, and Paraguay meet. Now, for decades, this has been sort of a Wild West type area where the Iranian regime, Hezbollah, their sympathizers have operated, involved in everything from drug smuggling, all sorts of illicit activity, and the money that they make in the tri-border region, they send back to Iran, they send back to Lebanon, Hezbollah's home base, to fund terror operations against Israel. But the tri-border region is only the beginning. And by the way, that may be a really fascinating future newscast to focus solely on what's going on in the tri-border region there in South America. But in the meantime, Iran also has a long-term agreement with Venezuela. And you will notice a thread here, folks. Venezuela, the socialist government of Nicolas Maduro, very cozy with Iran, China, and Russia. But those Iran-Venezuela ties are growing to the point that last month we had a Venezuelan cargo plane that was grounded in Argentina with members of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps on board. Apparently, one of those IRGC members has made over a dozen trips between Iran and Venezuela over the past year. I'm sure it's just for sightseeing, no doubt. So the Iran-Venezuela relationship, which really strengthened under former Venezuelan dictator Hugo Chavez, has only grown under Nicolas Maduro. And you think of the Cuban Missile Crisis, folks, here in the U.S., where you had Soviet missiles in Cuba, really at America's door.
Yeah, so, I'm going to just leave it there. You get the pitch, you get the point. Hey, the war is coming to America. There's nothing they can do about it. Babylon is going to fall. It might feel like it's taking some time, but this is the way the Lord worked. The Lord is long-suffering, so things takes time to build up. He's building everything. This movie has been built, and it's playing out. You just got to play it out. We don't have much longer. So, hey, with that said, I want to say, call Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, double honors, pastor, elders, great millstone, rule, teach well, peace, salutation, all you Akim, four corners of the earth, and all you Aqua for listening and learning. I say Shalom, and ball, death to America, death to this wicked ass kingdom, and Shalom. And Kwam Yashal.